everybody. Welcome back. I hope you are still all wide awake. Are you? I can't hear you. So let's get the energy going again a little bit. Thanks for joining. And I know we're running a little bit late with the program. And I'm going to make it a little bit faster, as you know. I have a lot of meetings always with the IARC race directors. And I love speaking about this topic. Let me get my screen in front. I can look, here I am, striving for excellence. Wow, what a beautiful topic, don't you think? I think if we can start with the first slide. I always feel, let's define excellence. Now this is quite an interesting picture, don't you think? Ladies and gentlemen, I think all of us in this room, race director, and I would like to combine today's chat about race director and athlete. And maybe you can take this back to your personal lives. Because ultimately in life, doesn't matter where we are in our home and the work we do at home, we all strive for excellence. And if that is a philosophy in your life, I mean, we have so high goals, and what do we need to do every year to take that goal to the next level? But it's important to decide what is excellence. Where do we start with excellence? And as we evolve and as we grow, and I'm going to get to that, thank you so much, Simon. As we evolve and get to that, I would like to speak and say, I think for a moment, everybody must always just think, why is striving for excellence so important? I think if you've seen our event, if you walked the journey with us, you can see that Expedition Africa, both myself and Stefan, set the bar very high for ourselves. So how do you criticize yourself? How do you go back afterwards and go back and say, was it good enough? Or how can we make it better? And what is the process that needs to go through that? And that is from a race director's point of view, and that's also from an athlete's point of view. How can you make yourself and your team better? Now, I can speak about this topic forever, but to keep it short and sweet, I think the number one thing in life is we can always just do the best we can in the moment. And the important thing is of setting goals. So for us, for this event, it was a 2-year journey to set goals. For you, it was a year journey, maybe longer, to set goals the whole time. Set goals in how you train, set goals in your team, set goals of how do you want to produce or put an event together. How do you want to present it? Do you want just an event with one flag at the starting line, or do you want the event to look spectacular? What is your goal? Do you want to just finish the race, or do you want to be the top team in the world? What does it take to reach those goals? I think we always speak about it over and over and over, but for me it is just to share with all of you that we have to go back to the basics every time and say, how can we make ourselves better? How do we set those goals? And how do we achieve those goals? And of course, most of us are parents, and we obviously take this back to our lives at home. And we all do it already in our daily jobs, I hope. And we just need to pull those goals back into adventure racing. So I hope we could all inspire each other so that we know that how do we set goals? How do we visualize something? I promise you that I've had many things differently visualized for this week than how it actually happened. I was dreaming about this for 2 years. San Diego, our future world champs directors, every race director in this room, you have a dream in your head. And then what happens when the event happens? Weather conditions come in. A trailer breaks. Your team member gets sick. And those dreams and goals you had is falling apart. And then what do you do when one team member pulls out? Because he just cannot go further. How do you change in that moment? And that is all part of striving for excellence. Overcoming those challenges. What do we do when things go wrong? What do you do when things go wrong? There are definitely, and I've really discovered this over the last few years, there are definitely some of us in this room who can really handle when things go wrong. We can handle it better than the person next to you. And if that is a big problem within your team of 4 people, that is also something you need to go back into the room and say afterwards, okay, this is adventure racing. It's not an Ironman. It's not a marked route. There is nothing that can prepare you for what's to come. You have to roll with the decisions. You have to roll with things go wrong. You have to roll with you get a CP point, a checkpoint at the wrong time of the day. You have to roll with somebody gets sick. Somebody's got an off day. As race directors, you have to roll that something happens. Your times doesn't work out. Weather come in, trailers break. It's the constant change. It's the constant problems we have. And how do we overcome those challenges? You have to roll that your volunteers and people getting tired. So it's the constant change of how to handle the situations and then just overcome those settings. So I would love you all, when you go back home, not only race directors, but also teams, go back and take all the experiences of this week and really go and work through that and learn from that. What is learning and adaptation? I think the number one rule in life is that we all need to understand that we are not perfect. We are all striving for excellence, but we all make mistakes. It's impossible if you have 100 balls up in the air not to drop something. And actually in this week somebody said to me, Heidi, well, just make sure you don't drop the crystal balls. So make sure it's only the rubber balls we are dropping. So when you're under immense pressure and stress, you need to decide at that moment what is the most important. So, and how to adapt to constant change and how to be not too hard on yourself. And when you make a mistake or when you've made a navigation mistake, to say, whoa, let's stop for a moment. Let's circle back. And how can we overcome it? You all know in adventure racing, it is not when you make the mistake, especially who knows navigators in the team. And when they make a mistake, the navigator, 10 hours later, you are still talking about the mistake he made 10 hours back. I know, I raced with a husband. He's not in the room, I hope. And 10 hours later, he was still talking about the mistake he made 10 hours back. And I'm like, doesn't matter, let's go on. Let's focus on the next point. So how quickly can you adapt and change? And learn and apologize and say, let's keep on making it better and better. Because that's ultimately the important, that your heart strive to make things better. Okay. So like I said, I can speak about it forever. I love it. I love resilience. I love to show people what adventure racing does to one of us and our personalities. But it's not today the platform to keep you busy for the whole day. So, ladies and gentlemen, how do we build a culture of excellence? I think we start with leadership. In all of our companies, at our work, in our team, you need a leader. You need a leader to set an example. You need somebody to say, I'm willing to stand up for what I believe in and stand up for where we want to go. We're speaking here today about rules, regulations. We've mentioned a few things. We're speaking about youth development. How can we make it better? We have amazing other races in the world. One Water Race came here all the way. They are geared for adventure races to go and test yourself and develop your skills and your mindset further. These are the things we're living for. So how do we learn? How do we get better? You have to have a leader who say, let's improve, let's make better. Every time, let's make better. What is our goals for next year and how are we going to make it better? We need to understand that times are evolving. New technology. Every year, what are we doing here? This year, we can improve it and make it so much better next year and the next year and the next year. We need to adapt. Media can get better. Volunteers, our referees, everything can get better. We need to develop the youth development and the future of adventure racing. So we're just in the beginning, but we have to believe that that is how we go forward, is that we acknowledge that we can go better. And we've just actually started this journey. I mean, there's many more topics we can go in. I mean, obviously it will be discussed later, but I would like to go to building a support network. What is a support network? For all the people in this room, you would not sit here if it wasn't for that husband, wife, family, volunteers, your crew, your partners that make it possible that you can be here today. I think we need to acknowledge that as Heidi, or as Stefan, or as arworldseries, we are nothing. Alone, we are nothing. We need support. You need to acknowledge that. By yourself, you cannot go further. We have to understand that we need your partnerships, and that is why we're here, to unite and do things together. I mean, I see some of our speakers still need to speak. Michael, all of you will know that you have not achieved anything where you are today, you by yourself alone. We all have a story to tell. And the story is, how do we go forward, and how did we do it as partnerships and support and your network, what you have. There's always one rule, I say. And one of them is, go to the people or use the people that wants to be partnering with you. The people who don't want to partner with you, let them be. But there are enough people that want to be partnering with you and want to help you to make it better and a success. So please, to all our friends here racing, please go home and give your wife or your husband and everybody that supported you to come and race and come to Africa, go and give them a big hug, because without that support, you cannot fulfill your dreams. Go and give them their time and say to them, thank you that you're here. We will acknowledge as well again our support network and our families to say thank you for helping us. And that is part of partnerships and striving for excellence. You cannot achieve any of these dreams and goals when you're by yourself. But if we go in as a team, we go in as a team of media and a team of people who want to grow and develop the youth development, and we're hosting maybe in the future a youth world championship. If we go in and we develop the sport and stage racing and all the wonderful other things we want to do, then we have that support. And then we together grow adventure racing. So let me go to final thoughts and not take you on forever. And I mean, look at that beautiful picture. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to look at that picture and I'm going to tell you a story so that I want you to understand what happened here. All of you in this room know that we were setting up that start with no facilities throughout the night, because we could not set up anything before, because as you all know, the wind can blow everything away here. At the same time when this was happening, we already were having teams at T1 unpacking their bike boxes. Everything happened at the same time. It's impossible for me to do it by myself. So that is what is a support is. That is what teamwork is. That is what we do when we are united and we're together. And I have a dream, and I can share my dream with all our people to get to a picture like this. It's media. Everything needs to fall into place. My dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, adventure racing will always, always keep you humble. You think you're on top, you think you're the best. You do your next adventure race, and it will show you that you are nothing. How wonderful was the people who came in last night? Is there anybody in this room who arrived last night? I don't think they're here. This morning. Have you had a moment to go and watch any of the footage? If you stand with me, with every team coming over that finishing line, and you feel their heart and their eyes and the journey they went through, then you will know that this is an incredible sport. It will change your life forever. When you go back home now and you have your 20 or 30 hours of flight time, and you really think what happened through this whole week in your life, how can you ever go back home or to your office on Monday and tell the person next to you what you've done? They never get it. They will never get it. So treasure it, because we are alive. And we are the special breed, and we are unique. I love my race directors because I know what it takes to do something like this. I can feel it in my heart. There is passion, and as I say, keep passion going. You can never put a lid on passion. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close off and say, I love you all. I thank you all for pushing through this hard week. I thank you all for experiencing the highs and the lows. And I really would like to ask all the race directors in the world and anybody who ever dream of hosting an event, adventure race or any other event, to have the deep desire in your heart to make it better. To acknowledge that you are not the best. There's always somebody else better than you. And that you can always improve. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I'm not going to take more time. I'm getting the cut Heidi sign. And I'm going to hand it over to our other speakers who's got their incredible stories to tell to you as well. Thank you so much.